Hello Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news. My name is Priska Anyolo and you are watching NMH at 1. Let us first have a look at incoming news this morning. The Federation of Namibian Tourism Associations is holding a tourism dialogue day today where different speakers will discuss an array of topics in regard to current tourism matters in the country. Moving on to our COVID-19 update. Today's COVID-19 monitor looks at quarantine data for Namibia. Following an increase in new cases, the total number of people housed in government facilities have again risen above 1,500. This is 3 times the number of individuals quarantined at the start of the first wave of the pandemic. New entries into quarantine increased to almost 1,000 over the 7 days up to Tuesday, while less people, only 680, were discharged. The group of 23 persons in quarantine in the Oshodonjupa region, according to data, have been in isolation for 18 days already. In other regions, exits take place as soon as in 5 or 6 days. Facilities in Ohangwena and Oshana were empty and only 1 person was still in quarantine in the Omusati region and 16 in Kavango East and West. The 4 regions, the turnover in numbers exceeded 100. This detail is shown on your map. Oshikoto recorded 316 entries, while 244 people were discharged. In Omaheke, 197 individuals started with quarantine, with 80 exits. 142 entries were recorded in Kunene, compared to 116 exits, and in the Karas region, 106 people entered quarantine, while 94 could go home or proceed with their journeys. A group of 179 persons were under quarantine in the Zambezi region. All these numbers exclude those self-quarantining at home. Do remember to join us tomorrow for insight into the average number of cases being reported in individual health districts. As always, next we bring you video news clips from around the country. In our first story, 41 beneficiaries of an NMH project were excited to receive their allocation of 40,000 Namibian dollars each for the construction of their new homes. A total of 1.64 million Namibian dollars was allocated by the municipality of Oshiwarongo for this purpose. Esther Kamati was there.
For your children, congratulations. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Uma. Thank you, Uma. Oh, what's your name again? Harases. What is that, Mama? Yeah. So, thank you, Next. Good. I wanted to speak the language. Simon? Yeah, it is. 360 per month. Are you happy? Yes. Huh? Yes. Go and build a house. Don't ask me anymore. Get out of Meme's house.
We are here receiving your house in a pink shirt. Thank you very much. You are happy you can jump. Let's see how you can. But your knees, I hope they're all.
Matengu. Limit the WhatsApp group now. Concentrate on the construction of the house until it's finished. Thank you. My brother.
I will do that.
Are you happy?
I'm very much happy.
Yeah.
I'm very much happy.
Yes.
Speaking at the same event, Minister for Urban and Rural Development Erasto Sutoni addressed leadership issues, advising political and community leaders to work together for the betterment of the town and the country.
Let's work for this country.
He just here complain, yeah. But you are given power in your hands. All the means, all the resources are in your hands. Namibia is so rich. We can develop it with little resources we have. Like also Zonjupa region, I can tell you, this region, they are saying, Ochiwarongo more particularly, as a strategic gateway, striving to be a socio-economic powerhouse in Namibia. Once Ochiwarongo municipalities develop, then the whole region is developed. As I compare you, the Osozonjupa Regional Council, with other regions, you have so much economic potential. But instead of planning, you are just fighting among yourself. Hey, this one is not good. I'm from political what? I'm what? I'm not promoted. Work! Then people see that you are working to be promoted.
All People's Party Secretary General Vincent Kanyetu talks about the exclusion of Kavango and the high poverty levels in the region, which he attributes to the SWAPO-led government. He was speaking at a media conference in Rundu yesterday. Kenya Kambowe submitted this clip.
It's about time that our people have to enjoy what belongs to them. We cannot continue importing people from somewhere else, whereas the statistic is saying Kavangos are the poorest people. I mean, government must sometimes be ashamed of themselves, especially the administration that we have now. You have all the benefits Namibia can offer, but our region is always regarded the last. Look at your fishing quotas, for example. From the first fishing quota awarded by the Ministry of Fisheries to the people of Namibia, to the last one that was given by Kawana previous month now, Kavangos are always the last, 0.4%, which is equally almost like 0%. What nonsense is this one? What nonsense is this? You are saying the region is the poorest, but hence you are leaving out the region when it comes to benefits. What are we trying to say? Can we say that the poverty that Kavangos are having now is a creation of the SWAPO government? Or can we say that SWAPO is always happy to see the Kavango people swimming in the poverty? Or can we say that it's an idea that SWAPO is having towards Kavango residents?
Looking at the front pages of various Namibian papers today, we see that the Algemeine Zeitung leads with a story about a Canadian company that was commissioned by the Namibian government to conduct a feasibility study for the construction of a railway line through the Zambezi region. This happens barely 4 months after the Canadian oil exploration company Recon Africa started test drilling in the Kavango regions. The Namibian Sun writes about villagers in the north who are fighting back at swarms of locusts by turning them into a relatively unusual delicacy. This is seen especially in the Kavango West and East, Ohangwena and Oshikoto regions, where massive swarms of locusts arrived within the past months. The Republican reports on the vaccination situation in Namibia. The Chinese embassy in Windhoek is aware of about 1,800 of the approximately 2,100 Chinese citizens in Namibia who have been vaccinated locally against COVID-19 to date. The order to vaccinate Chinese citizens in the country with Sinopharm came from Beijing. The Namibian leads with a story about the remarks that President Hage Geingob made yesterday during a courtesy call with the newly established Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, headed by Nangula Uwanja. Geingob said that white Namibians should share their wealth, otherwise the less privileged may take it. New Era reports on its front page about the anti-poaching organization ISAP that is denying accusations from a whistleblower that it has been involved in irregularities and misappropriation of donor funds. And on the inside of our country's newspapers, you'll be able to read up on the following. On its page 3, the Allgemeine Zeitung reports on the vaccination strategy of the Namibian government. According to the state's data, the number of deaths and severe cases of corona is higher than ever before. In view of an imminent third wave, the Ministry of Health is therefore stepping up on its vaccination efforts. Negotiations are currently underway with manufacturers from Johnson & Johnson and Sputnik. On page 2, the Namibian Sun is reporting on a 17-year-old who was seen in a video clip assaulting a 5-year-old girl. This video has gone viral on social media, and the boy is appearing before the Utapi Magistrate Court today on 2 charges: assault and contravening the Child Care and Protection Act. The Republican on its page 3 focuses on the National Housing Enterprise, which, according to NHE's board chairman Sam Shivute, is not bankrupt. He says there is no question of redundancies or salary cuts, and it will certainly not degenerate into a second Air Namibia. His message to NHE's employees is, you are not in danger of liquidation. On page 3 of the Namibian, you can read up on a story about the statement of the Landless People's Movement leader, Bernardo Swartboy, that is forcing corruption members of the cabinet to resign is not enough. New Era on its page 3 in turn also focuses on vaccinations in Namibia. According to the report, Namibia did not record any case of COVID-19 vaccine doses being spoiled since the rollout of the vaccination campaign last month. In all 3 NMH publications, you'll also find today's Market Watch. The Market Watch leads with an article about how the successful procurement and quick rollout of COVID-19 vaccination in Namibia will be critical to ensure a swift economic recovery. And with that, we have reached the end of today's lunchtime show. I've been your host, Priska Anyolo, live for NMH at 1, and we look forward towards engaging with you again tomorrow. And thank you so much for watching and supporting us. Please do join us again at the same time and at the same place tomorrow. Until then, be safe, stay healthy, and also stay tuned for a quick snapshot of the weather as well. Goodbye.